Okay, let's go.
Hey, how are ya? Happy Tuesday. Happy Let's Talk Tuesday. Good to be here. Glad to be here with you all. Last week I was on the road in a hotel room, so it's nice to be back to my normal digs. Hi, Jan. Hi, Ivy. Justina, Melissa from Mississippi. Melissa from Mississippi. Say that 10 times fast. Dawn Overstreet. So good to see you. Hi, Carrie. Adam. I was on the road between for my birthday, which was last Thursday, and you guys have been so wonderful to wish me happy birthday and make it very, very special. But on my actual birthday, I was driving from Sacramento, California, back to the Boise area, and so yeah, I guess it was exciting. A little different, but when I came home, actually, my sister and niece had decorated the house, and there was a sign on the front in the garage, and it came in, and there was balloons and different banners and things. So it actually was really special and really wonderful. And so yes, it actually was a good birthday. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. You were on set in Mississippi last week. That's great. Don, what was the set? What was the project? If you can share, maybe you can't. But hi, Jamie from Dallas. Justina. It was fun. It was great. Hi, Carolyn, Jenny. Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay, you guys, think of any questions that you might have or topics that you want to discuss. Put them in the comments so I can look at them. Anything you might be wondering about. Carrie, thank you for your advice a couple weeks ago regarding monologue choices. I found one that's very meaningful. Yay, good. Look forward to getting your feedback on the monologue showcase at Focus. Oh, I can't wait, Carrie. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I'm excited you found something that you feel connected to and that you feel like you can really dive into because again, that's what's most important. I had seen a clip. In fact, I just posted it's in my story in my Instagram from Viola Davis. I won't tell you what she says because then you wouldn't go and check out my Instagram. But it caused me I was trying to find the clip because I had seen it in somebody else's story and I just loved what it said. And so I was searching for it because I hadn't written down whose like Instagram profile it was. So it caused me to Google Viola Davis acting advice is kind of where I started. And oh my goodness, is there a plethora of rich, rich, rich content from Viola. So she went to Juilliard. She has a degree in theater. And of course, we all know what a stellar actress she is, how incredibly talented she is. And she, let me see if I can be more specific as to, so there's a 7-minute clip of her, and it looks like BAFTA Guru is where the interview came from. And let me click on it real quick. Sorry. Yeah, so it looks like BAFTA, which is, the British, basically the British version of our Academy Awards. But BAFTA Guru, and it's Viola. The name of the video is Viola Davis on acting. So if you just Google that, but it's about 7 minutes, a brief part of it, about a minute and a half. She talks about a specific character that she had played and was being asked about, but the rest of the clip is really, really good acting advice. Practical, understandable. She talks about her process and what goes into creating a character, and then she talks about her two sort of the most 2 most influential women on her acting career, and, um, and they are Cicely Tyson and Meryl Streep, and then she tells you why. So I really want to encourage you guys to go and find that 7.5-minute clip. I thought about having Diego, find it and play it tonight, but then I thought, "No, I don't, it was 7.5 minutes. You guys can watch it in your own time and really soak it in." But wow, so many great pearls of wisdom and really, really good insight on her process. So recommend that. And then of course the much shorter quote that I just reposted on my Instagram. Yeah, love it. There is so much when we talk about how much you guys could do in the downtime, or if you're kind of in a lull or maybe even feeling discouraged. There's so much wisdom out there because of the interweb, because of the internet, because you I mean, obviously, when I was younger, I couldn't hear from Viola Davis, necessarily and just call it up and be able to glean from her. Having that kind of information and those resources, there's just so much that you can do if you're at a loss on a day where you think, okay, I want to give my acting some time today. I want to be deliberate about focusing. I want to find some inspiration. You don't have to look very far to find it. There is so much out there and so much that you can get nuggets of wisdom and information from that can be genuinely inspiration and helpful and practical. So, um, let's see. Oh, Emily, you made it in. You've been trying to connect. So, but I'm glad you made it in. Glad to see you. Um, Justina, how do you filter acting Facebook groups? I actually don't know that I have that answer. I don't know if anyone else here has an answer, because I've only ever looked for Facebook groups about a specific criteria. So, like if I'm going to be working in a certain market and I want to look and see if there's any, acting groups or Facebook groups for that area. Sometimes, like there's a group, Texas Western Actors, and because I do a lot of westerns, I've gone to that group a couple times. And of course, each sort of market or city or area typically has Facebook pages. Um, so I'm not one who has a great answer for you on that, but maybe someone else does. And are you talking about let's see. I'm going back. Okay. Filter, you mean okay, Justina, I'm getting a little more understanding because I'm seeing your other comment. So, Justina, I joined a local actor group. They put up on a local audition. I requested info, but their process creeped me out, I guess is what you were probably. Um, let's see. And then they said I got the part, but they didn't want to share the script to the day. They wanted to advance me $900 e-check, then pay this large sum on that day. Felt wrong, so I backed out. How do you filter acting? Okay, now I have the context. Sorry, it just took me a second to look and see each of the messages. That does sound a little iffy. That does sound a little iffy. Um, I think as far as filtering, I think I would vet the people individually, potentially, and see, are they on IMDb? Do they have legitimate work on IMDb? Google them, see if there's other postings or anything where you can see their work, if they have another website. Other than that, you have to stick to your gut, Justina, and I think you did the right thing. Um, because that is a little funky, especially them not sharing the script. I wouldn't go to film on a day unless you had the script in advance. There's just no way I would do that, and I wouldn't recommend that for any other actor, unless it was a very, very well-known, production team and director who, for whatever reason are keeping something very confidential. Or I've known of projects, I think we've probably all heard of projects that are extremely confidential, and if you think of, um, movies like Waiting for Guffman or Best in Show, where it's highly improved. Um, there isn't necessarily a word for word script, but they've certainly rehearsed and talked through everything. So yeah, that doesn't sound right. So I think your gut was probably, um, sorry, I just am shutting off my phone. I think your gut instinct was probably right. And I think that you need to go with your gut a lot of times. My phone's going crazy for some reason. So I'm making sure I turn it off. Okay. So yeah, I think you did the right thing. Vet the people individually, ask if anybody knows them in the area. That's the best you can do. And then I really believe I just really believe the Holy Spirit will give you a gut feeling if you're going to step into something that is not good or is dangerous for you. So I would trust your gut. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking. Jan Bush. Oh, in our coaching session, you told me over and over, trust my gut. I did. You're right. And I've learned a lot personally to trust my gut. And so I speak from my own personal experience of times when and not necessarily I'm talking about things where it wasn't necessarily having to do with anything like my profession or my career, but just seeing God literally give me a sense in my gut that either something wasn't right or that I should go do something. I was feeling a nudge to go do something. And so I really believe that the Holy Spirit and that sense within our core that God gives us is a way of leading us and guiding us and protecting us, um, when that's necessary. So, okay. So I'm looking at Jan. So use of licensed products on short films. Um, Example, RC Cola and a moon pie. Are you asking about, um, let's see, are you asking about how that goes or how to use them? If you can give me more, Jan, more context of what you're asking, then maybe we can get some answers or information. If I don't have it from the group, that'd be great. And did I miss? Yeah, Don, I Google every single person on a project before I submit, even catering. Interesting. I don't know that I've ever looked up catering, but it certainly can't hurt. So, um, let's see. Yeah, so many people are saying that. Diego, but you always have to be careful because there are many scams out there. Always double check the person and or company. Yes, making a post to see if it's legitimate, and then Facebook group owners do their best to vet each post. But if it's a big group, it can take a while. It's totally true. You cannot rely on the moderators to filter everything out, especially if it is a large group and a large volume. That's for sure. Hi, Carolyn from Seattle and Jen from Texas. Um, Diego, if someone opens a Facebook group, they can also filter each person who joins by having them fill out a brief questionnaire. Yeah, if you happen to be the administrator of a group, definitely, I would definitely want to do that. Question from a comment. Beverly, what can we expect from you at Focus? Oh, there you go. Well, all kinds of things because I'm on a general panel for casting directors. So I'm sure that will be kind of question led, either questions that the moderator has prepared in advance or questions from the audience. And so it will be myself and 3 others, I believe, responding to that. And then we're going to talk about the audition process, self tapes. We talked a little bit about self tapes in at Christian Worldview, and I want to go a little bit deeper on that. We only have 45 minutes, so um, but I want to show some examples, talk about what's effective, and really to help continue the conversation about how your work can break through the kind of sea of auditions. And that's something I've actually been talking a little more in depth with those people I've been coaching with. And again, the coaching, oh man, I love you guys. The coaching has been absolutely just, I love it. I love it. I love getting to work with you guys individually and talk about your individual situations and to go through things like headshots and it's not just about me looking and saying that one's good, that one I don't like, but talking about why and pointing out and having a dialogue so that down the road, you guys are better equipped to see for yourself what photos and headshots and things are most effective for you. And because you'll begin to understand the mindset that I have as a casting director and what I'm looking for. And so, yeah, it's about really being able to educate you a little more specifically so that you can be the person kind of making those decisions as you have more and more photo shoots down the road. I've been very tongue tied today and I really don't know why. So anyway, so yeah, we're going to do that. And then I'll be around for both the days. I think there's other panels and so many other great people and great actors who are speaking and who have individual workshops and then panels. So yeah, there's a lot. It's going to be a jam-packed couple of days. Really jam-packed. Oh, and then we're doing a monologue showcase. That is the other thing. It's kind of a separate event, and I'm not sure if there's still openings. In that, I think it's like a 2-hour, maybe 3-hour piece. There you go. That's the information, and that's our discount code, Focus24. You can email there specifically about the monologue showcase to find out if there's other spots open, and that won't be just me. It's myself, Mark Fincannon. I don't know if Regina Moore is a part of that. Jean Winger, I believe, is a part of that. So it'll be a group of us for sure. So that will be happening, and that's kind of a event within the event, little bit separate, but they made space for it in the schedule. So yeah, so all of that, there's a lot happening, a lot going on. I'm really looking forward to that for sure. And oh, here we go. So yeah, I think it'll be good. Colin, I can't wait to work with you. I've enjoyed literally every single person so far that I've had the pleasure of being able to coach with so far. And yeah, just it's been great. And I cannot wait to work with you, Colin. Thanks, Grace. I think God's been prompting me for a long time. It's something I've really wanted to do for a long time. So I'm just so excited to be able to do that, and that the opportunity is right now. So, it's kind of, it is a situation where, God closes one door and opens another. And it's not that he's really closed a door, but things have been slower for me this spring, as they have been for most people, slower in general. And so it allowed Diego and myself to have dialogue and to put some actual action to these things we've been talking about for a while. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a season where I had a little bit of a lull, because my goodness, what a joy it is to get to know you guys. So, yeah, Sarah, it'll be great to see you and see everyone is whoever's going to Focus. And you guys remember Sarah has a lot to offer too regarding just the business and tips and tools and things that she's learned from her own journey. And of course, the book that she wrote about kind of the beginning steps of acting and the things you want to be working on to get in place. So Sarah will be at Focus as well. So find her and have a good conversation with her too. Okay, Jan, I'm going back to your question. What's legal to use? So you're talking about named products. So I don't have that answer for you. That's not something, product placement is not something I know a whole lot about. I know that there are some times where product placement is done for the advantage of the film because they either provide product for free in return for you featuring it in the film. And sometimes that can be super helpful if it's like, for example, I've done it where it was a mountain climbing movie and the product was clothing for, outdoor clothing. And so by featuring that clothing in exchange, they provided the clothing for free to production. So that was a savings to production and then a benefit to the clothing company because it was promoting their product. So oftentimes that a choice is made for that reason because it's an exchange. If it's a prominent enough film and a prominent enough company, sometimes they even will kick in cash to be a part of it. But usually that is something where it's, very high level A-list stars, very high profile film. But oftentimes you can do an exchange product for exchange for featuring it. Uh, but as far as what you can use and show the actual labels for, that's something I don't know about. If there's liability for showing a product and showing the name brand, but not getting permission to use it or feature it. So if any of you guys know on the producing side or the legal side and you have an answer, that's great. Otherwise, I'm sure that's something you can Google very easily. There is a lawyer who does a newsletter every month, Mark Litwack, Litwak, I believe. And I get his monthly newsletter. He always has really interesting information about uh, different legal aspects of the film business. And I would guess he has something on his website or at some point has written about that topic, but you could Google it. His website is just Mark MarkLitwak.com. And like I said, he always, in my opinion, always has great resources, information. He has forms that you can sometimes download for the filmmakers. So yeah, I find him very, very helpful. I find the way that he speaks about topics and about legal issues within the entertainment business very, very understandable, which is not always the case with attorneys. So, yeah, you might check him out. I found him to be helpful. Let's see. Dawn, how is Unsung Hero going at the theater? So domestically here, it's actually getting ready to release digitally. I believe it's playing theatrically in other parts of the world. They had an Australia theatrical release, a UK theatrical release, and so there's other countries that are now going through their theatrical release. But it's either just went digital or about to go digital. In fact, let me check. Looking it up. I'm telling you that the web is amazing. Because I've been seeing I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I promise. I am. I really am. Let's see. Okay. I'm not at this exact moment, I'm not seeing the dates for the digital release, but I think it's coming up. Um, so yeah, you can just look that up for yourself. If I find it, then June 11th, Unsung went digital. Thank you, Diego. So you should be able to see it now on different platforms. So yeah, just Google it. That's my answer to everything. Just Google it. Okay. Hi from set. Hi, Ian. You are in Pennsylvania, right? You're working on, is it Daisy's the name of the script? You're working with Sharon Lanier and Venus Monique and a couple other people, great people, Tina Gallo. So I hope that's going well. I looked at your photos. You might, if you guys, Ian Wilson, if you guys want to check out project that some wonderful, wonderful people are putting together. It's a film for women, by women, about women. But yet Ian Wilson is on set, right? Confirm, Ian, if that is in fact where you are. I saw you were listed on the cast page, so that's great. Daisy, yes, there we go. So Daisy. Okay. Oh, Valerie, I'm excited to work with your kids. I love working with kids and young performers, so that's great. Justina, yay, you already have it at home. I love that. That's great. Streaming on Amazon. Heard commercial today. Emily, you are a plethora of information. I love it. Dawn, I think IATSE is still going through contract negotiations. I think the final deadline for that is around mid-July. And I will be so happy when that gets settled because it's the last of the pieces to finally get some movement and get things going. You're hearing about like Paramount now talking about they need to cut 500 million from their company and there's just a lot of contraction that's going on and we need that to settle in and settle down so that we can all get moving forward again for sure. But so if you're feeling like it's slow, you're not imagining it, don't be discouraged. It what goes down must come up. Well, I know it's usually what goes up must come down. We don't want to think about that part. We're on the backup process. So let's see. Dawn. Okay. Yeah, I came to see you. So I went to the set of Life Mark when Dawn was doing Life Mark with the Kendrick brothers, now 2 years ago, in Albany, Georgia. And her question is, do I see all the film production on the rise again or no signs of that yet? So, just we read each other's mind. So I do see it beginning to ramp back up, but until that IATSE situation is completely settled, I don't know that we're going to go back to full speed. That's just still this sort of looming thing that everybody's waiting to see what happens. Nobody wants to be in production and then have a strike happen midway through. So, as far as new production, I think that's just the last sort of hurdle for everyone to just relax and realize, okay, we're in some stability. I think again, the election may have a little bit of play, just because wow, it's a really weird election. It's a really weird election. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get into politics or any of that, but um, election years are always a little pull focus from some things, but I do personally see some things starting to gear back up and some confidence returning. And so yes, I think it will get better. So I want you to be encouraged. I do believe it will get better. And the production that I was talking about, I'm going to go back to, let's see. Um, let's see. I'm looking up. I want to tell you more about the website. What I love about what they are doing, so Caruso Productions, Kerusso Productions. That's the Facebook page where I think you can kind of follow along as they're doing their film. What I love about this is I remember them just talking about wanting to do this film and getting it just moving forward, and now they're actually filming. And that just inspires me and pushes me um to kind of get off my butt and do it. If there's these things that I've wanted to do for so long, and coaching was kind of one of them, that I need to put action to those desires and those thoughts, actual doable, reachable goals and setting goals. And so the fact that they're doing this film, and I remember back when they were just talking about it and sort of dreaming about it, and the fact that it's now happening just really inspires me. And I have a lot of respect and admiration for them getting it going and making it happen. And they don't have any big studio and big dollars behind them, but they're doing what they can with what they have. And so I'm really inspired by that for sure. Jenny Lamb Weber, I don't think I know how to use IMDb to my best advantage. Should I Google how to use IMDb? Touche, because I say Google everything. So oh, Charlie, no politics around here. I agree. It's just a weird time. I'm not going to make a statement on right or wrong or good or bad or any of it. It's just weird. But so Jenny, I think the biggest way that I think IMDb can be very helpful is that, and IMDb Pro. So, Jenny, clarify, are you using IMDb Pro or are you just using IMDb? Because it's a big difference in how useful it and how easily you can use it as a tool. So let me know that, because my answer will be different if you're just using regular IMDb. Actually, if you're using regular IMDb, my answer will be get IMDb Pro. And then we can talk about how that can be helpful to you. Emily, I always go to website and use the search bar on the main page, type any person's name, then see their work. Yes, you can do that on regular IMDb, if that's in fact what you're talking about. So IMDb Pro, the easiest okay, great. Awesome, Jenny. Perfect. The best thing, in my opinion, about Pro is that you can easily go to, so you see a film or I don't know, Brett Varvel. Okay, Brett Varvel, wonderful actor, filmmaker. He's in the series County Rescue I did last year. He just finished his film Disciples in the Moonlight. It comes out in July. And Brett's very involved in the faith film community, and you say, okay, what has he done? What's his background? Who's he working with? And you want to understand better the community of people around him. Who is he using to cast his films? Who is he using to DP? Start to understand the community of people who are making the kind of content that you want to make. You can go typically in IMDb Pro, you see their full credits. You can click on any one of them and then click on each person that has worked with him and who is their community of people. You can go to an agency, look at their client list, or or reverse, if there's an actor that is doing a lot of work or working in an area that you want to work in, or you feel is kind of on a similar path, you can click on them. Who are they representing? Or I mean, sorry, who represents them? What agencies are working with them? There's a lot of cross reference that using Pro you can do very, very easily. And then from there, there's oftentimes websites or their Instagram pages listed, and it allows you to very quickly and easily go to other aspects and learn more about the people. I think it's really about understanding who are the people making the projects that you want to be a part of, who are working in those projects, the other actors, and how can you maybe connect with them? Who are their representatives? Where are they based? eh, Going to their social media and learning about what they're doing or what they're a part of. Someone just asked, um, let's see, someone just asked, how do you, and where do we hear about films like this to be a part of them? So I don't know what they did for their casting. I think they may have just hand selected people. From what I understand, it's not a huge cast, so they may have just hand selected certain people. I don't know if they did big auditions, but they've been posting. Again, it kind of goes back to all of the team on that Caruso Productions um, have been a part of faith films and the community for a long time. So on like the Christian casting, I see Laura May on here, the Christian casting community page. And then as you get to know those people, you can go to their Facebook pages or their websites and begin to you just see what they're posting. So it isn't like there is one clearinghouse that you can go to, especially with a film like that, because I don't know if they did big auditions or put it out there publicly, or if they just pre-selected their cast, because they know a lot of actors, they're actors themselves, and they've been working on this for a while. So you may not hear about some of those things, but I think the way I knew about it was just being in community with them and seeing what they posted on their socials about the project and upcoming. And so I would just try to build and grow your community as much as you can with people who are doing the work you want to do. So let's see. I'm not sure. Emily Buckner, actress where? I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but hopefully Emily answered that. Question from previous. Would my social media as an influencer promoting content negatively affect potential casting directors, producers who look through my account? Depends on the content you're promoting. If you're looking to work in the faith space and you're promoting content that is counter to that, then yes, that would be problematic. But if it's promoting content or products that are innocuous, that are just products out there, and they're not dividing people, or they're not causing controversy, or there's not anything about it that is that has a negative connotation, then no, that wouldn't be anything negative at all. I think we all understand now social media as a tool for monetizing. So um, yes, you can have a social media site and an Instagram or TikTok, whatever the case may be, that you are putting your profile out there and talking about your acting and opportunities, but at the same time promoting a product, and that's not going to hurt you at all. Heck, look at commercials nowadays. Can you even believe the A-listers that are doing commercials? Companies are paying them, I'm sure, a lot of money to do those commercials, but there was a day when you would never be seen on a commercial because it meant you were at the bottom of the barrel. It's the death for your career. And now you have people doing them left and right. So no, I unless it's a product or content that is controversial or negative or somehow has a negative potential negative or divisive aspect to it. Otherwise, you should be fine. You should be great. Let's see. Laura May, Jenny Lamb Weber, you could Google it. Yeah. See, you really can Google anything, but sometimes it's helpful to just jump in. That's how I feel. I think you will be surprised if you're deliberate about it um, and follow the trails and go to the websites and look at the projects that they're posting about. Oh, what is that project? Who's doing that? I find myself all the time doing that. Like just now going to Caruso Productions. Um, all I had to do was go to Sharon Lanier's page, and then they had the link to the Caruso Productions, which is the official production entity on the film. So, yeah, see, Anne, you remember Paul Giamatti being ridiculed for doing Verizon, and now everyone's followed suit. It's crazy. Diego, I would add as someone who manages content creators, you don't need to abandon your faith to make money as an influencer. There are opportunities. I agree. I think there are so many brands that they may not be specifically associated with faith content or be specifically targeting the faith community necessarily, but they also are not anti anything. They're just kind of a general purpose product or content. No harm, no foul is kind of how I phrase it. So yeah, there are opportunities out there for sure that you could take advantage of. Hey, however you can monetize those tools, more power to you. I think it's great. Let's see. What else? Well, it was on Actors, but it was on several Facebook pages. Okay, let me, Kathy, go back to your. Oh, okay. Kathy's answering. They posted casting on Facebook. I auditioned. It was also on Actors Access. And then you said, actually, I may have misspoke. I don't believe it was on Actors, but it was on several Facebook pages. So it is about community. That's one of the reasons that I talk so much about what Laura May has built on the Christian casting community Facebook page and the community that she's built. It's just an incredible way of getting information out there, learning information, and typically a production like this film would post on that in that community and target because that community is full of the people who they would potentially want to audition. So I think it really is about being an active part and being active in those communities and then using IMDb Pro to learn more about the people. It's not going to happen. What I can tell you for sure is it is not going to happen passively. It is not going to just happen. These things are not going to just appear in front of you. The work, the opportunities, the information is not going to happen passively. So you need to be active in seeking out the information, in seeking out the community in that you want to be a part of, in seeking out and networking. And again, it isn't about just joining the Christian casting community page and then just sitting there silently in the background and just waiting for everything to come to you. Get on there, say, hey, this is me. This is where I'm based. Here's a link to my reel if you have a reel, or just wanted to introduce myself. Is there anyone here who's in my area? Or is anyone here who wants to collaborate on something? Or I'm working on a monologue or want to write a scene. It's about being active in the community. And the more active you are, the more not only are you going to be exposed to, but you're also going to benefit from the other people in that community the same way you are benefiting them, right? Be of service. Hey, go on there and say, hey, I'd be happy to be a reader for anyone if you need it. Reach out to me. And whether that's like reach out to me via Facebook Messenger or whatever sort of safe semi-private way you want to create a way for them to reach out to you, but make yourself of service to the people on there. Introduce yourself, make comments, be active in the dialogue, and build that community. It will not happen passively. You need to be an active participant, a deliberate active participant in your own career. And I've said this before, I will say it one more time. Every day, do something every single day. It's your either part-time job or full-time job. And so treat it as such. Be deliberate about sitting down and researching or going to a specific web page or watching the interview I just mentioned with Viola Davis. It's write something, set goals, work on your vision board, something where you are deliberately putting time, focus, energy, and prayer into your career and into your work. Set aside that time, make it purposeful, and make it consistent. Diego always says consistency is the key, and he's absolutely right in a lot of things. So be deliberate about that. It is not going to happen passively. It's just too much, too many people, too much information, too much content for you to not be an active participant. So I say that with all love and encouragement, and also as my own sort of kick in the butt too, because I mean I have plenty to keep me busy, but somehow there are times when I still allow myself to get distracted, and so I'm saying that to me too. Laura May, thank you. You are so welcome, Laura May. You know I love you. Working so hard behind the scenes to bring that community even closer to every phone through an app. Labor of love. Yeah, she's developing and working on the Room 4 app. So again, keep in contact and keep in community so you know more about that as it's being developed. Let's see. Don Long, true, supportive, and honest relationships. Amen. We need to be honest and truthful with each other and have real connection. It isn't just about what you can do for me, but let's flip that. And what can I do for you? I was coaching with someone today, and we went through our time together and we had really good conversations. We set some very specific action steps for her to take, and talked about, I said to her, like, did I cover the things you wanted to cover? And are you comfortable with the goals that we set for what to do this week? And so I was getting ready to sign off, and I said, do you have any other questions before we jump off? And she thought about it for a second. Then she said, do you have any prayer requests? And it warmed my heart. Like, that made an impression on me because she stopped to take a moment to ask me and be of service to me in that way. And that really stood out to me. That kind of heart stood out to me. And so, yeah, if we all are thinking that way, I think that that's also something God honors, and how he stated that he wants us to be servants to others, putting others before ourselves. So yeah, I think we'll kind of flip the typical Hollywood acting mindset of me. How do I promote me? I need to do what's going to get me further. But flipping that to, yes, I'm going to be working on my career. Yes, I'm going to be taking steps to further what I feel like God has called me to. And but I'm also going to stop and ask how I can be of service to others, whether it's on set, whether, again, like today, just in that coaching session, having that mindset, I think is really important. I think it's part of what we're called to do, for sure. As far as being in this business, like, why has God called us to be in this business specifically, if it isn't to be salt and light and to show a different approach to what can be a very cutthroat and competitive and difficult business. So let's see. Okay. Yes, try to support other Christian creatives at the office. Yeah. And if you're not getting gigs, support others in their journey. It all matters to God. I believe it does. And I also think if there is someone that is having success, I think it's fair for you to also, in addition to congratulating them with sincerity and encouraging them and celebrating with them, I also think that you can have a conversation with, hey, what's working for you? And what have you found is making the difference? Or um, are there certain things you've done that have shifted things for you? And I'm sure they'll be happy to share with you too. Um, I I believe we all want each other to succeed. And so yeah, but you don't congratulate them with the agenda of asking that question. You congratulate and celebrate them, but as a part of being a part of a community, I think it's fair to say, "Hey, what's working for you, and what are you finding is um, kind of getting you over those obstacles right now?" I think that's more than fair. So, um, servants first, yes, I believe it. Um, Yeah, Celinda, love that because sometimes things get tough and it's so good to ask for prayer when we are having a hard time committing to what God is asking us to do. And and it is a journey, right? God is leading us. We're in this business because we truly and honestly believe that it's the path that God has us on right now. Who knows if God's going to change that path for some reason down the road? We're always, or I'll speak for myself, I'm always seeking wisdom in that way so that I don't hold on to this industry and career too tightly, so tightly that I can't be flexible if God's trying to move me or slide me over somewhere or shift my focus a little bit. But um, yeah, yeah. Adam Cameron Arnett says Christ over career. That's exactly right. We don't have a career without God in it. It's nothing. I don't, I would rather, I don't want a career, the greatest career, most flashy career, most award filled career if God isn't a part of it. I don't want that. Um, so the only career in this industry I'm going to have is something that God is a part of. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean for everyone, that doesn't mean that they work within the faith film industry. They may choose to work in the secular film industry and feel like that's the path that God has called them to. And I honestly, truly believe that there are people that God has called to work in that environment. He has equipped them in such a way that that is exactly where they're supposed to be, that they are being salt and light in what can be a very volatile and dark environment sometimes, but God is equipping them for exactly that. And then others feel like they want to make film and content that is more God-centered or God honoring or inspirational. We shouldn't judge each other for those places. I believe God is using each person who is giving their career over to God's wisdom and guidance and path. I believe he's going to use each of us individually. And like I said, for some that may be doing um, some big mainstream Marvel film or, whatever the case may be. And for others, it's going to be choosing to do a different kind of content. But as long as we're all doing it for the right reasons and that God's leading that path, then it's all good. So, okay. I think, let's see. Yes, Emily, praying for God to use you. I agree. Um, Laura May, speaking of supporting others, Bev, I know you have an acting background. Can I ask, what is your dream role? It's interesting because, last year I did a small but very fun role in Anthony Hackett's film Perfect Christmas. And it was great to do that. And I've thought a little bit about whether that might be a path I would take if I ever sort of ease back from the casting world, years down the road. But um, I because I love actors so much, and I love really diving into roles and giving them layers, and um, diving into who these characters, these people are. Any role that I could just really dig into that way, I would love. Um, I do like comedy too, but I'd love to really dig into a role. I did years ago, man, a lot of years ago now, probably 25 years ago now, I I was directing and producing a lot of theater for my church. I went to a big church in Orange County, and we did full scale productions. And we did a production of a play called Catacombs, and it was written by Paul McCusker, and it's kind of a little bit of a post-apocalyptic end times scenario, where a group of so the government has taken over and is persecuting Christians, putting very strict. It's a little bit like Disciples in the Moonlight, is putting very strict parameters and outlawing sharing of like biblical information, proselytizing, witnessing, all of those things, and is gathering up Christians and basically exiling them. And so this takes place. It's a group of people who've ended up in the catacombs of an old church or cathedral, and they're down in the kind of hallways, hiding out, trying to figure out what their next steps are. And these are all people who, for whatever reason, after the rapture, were left behind and are going through the tribulation or the end times or the turmoil. And so everyone in the story is a person of faith who is still very much wanting to follow their faith and seek God. My character, so at the very, very end, I'm giving away the end, but at the very, very end, they're all have to they're found, and the military come in, and they're asked to renounce their faith, and they don't, and they are killed for it. Except for me, my character was weak and does renounce her faith, and also has to live with that part of the character. And I loved playing that role. One, because it was against type. Two, because it was so complex to think about what would it take for someone who had been a person of great faith to to completely renounce that, and what does that mean, and what is that process, the guilt of that. I loved playing that. I really loved playing that. In fact, I've thought about um, trying to think of a way to do a production of that again somewhere. I think it's a very compelling piece. So anyway, that was a great one. I'd be happy to do that one again. Who knows? Maybe I'll figure out a way to put together a production of that, and I don't know, perform it somewhere. But anyway, that's in the back of my mind someday. But otherwise, I love watching you all do your great work, and you all do the great stuff that you're doing. That's my joy, to be able to be a part of that, and to be able to bring great actors to the projects I get to work on. So we'll see what God opens up down the road as far as any sort of performing or directing, because I do love directing theater as well. So anyway, I've talked way too long, way too long. So I'm going to head out. Laura May, I'll help you if you ever want to get it going. See, don't tempt me, Laura May. Don't tempt me. Because man, the thought of that just is so exciting. The thought of bringing together um another, like, a I don't know, just working with a team and a group, and bringing a really wonderful work together. It just really, really excites me. So Laura May, let's see what God does, stirs in all of us. Mel, Catacombs was written by Paul McCusker, I believe. I'll double check that. I believe. Yeah, it's Paul McCusker, and it's McCusker, Paul McCusker. He has some other great books, by the way. It was a book first, but and then made into a play. And we did visuals with it, and I scored it. Even though it was live, I took music and put it behind each of this. It was an incredible experience. But it was described as a group of fugitive Christians running from persecution take shelter in an abandoned mountain church, only to find their lives threatened by snow and food shortages as they await the Christian Underground's assistance. So that's Catacombs. You can find it on Amazon, by the way. Okay. So you have read it. You'll have to read it. Yeah, it is. It's really interesting. Amy, there you go. See, now we're all going to think about this and like let it stir in our minds and come up with something great. So that would be really fun. Okay. Next week is July 2nd. So we're all good. Well, I'll see you next week. And I can't believe next week's July. It's flying by. And thank you to all of you for being here. And again, for making my birthday so special and for just having great conversation and community. And I think that's it for now. So until next week, I love you guys. I think you're awesome. Don't be discouraged, because what goes down must come up. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to flip it. So appreciate you guys. Love you. Bye.
Okay, let's go.